Hitting level 80 is going to crack open the world for you. There's so many different directions you can go. It's hard to know exactly what direction you should be prioritizing and should you use these coffer keys. We're going to talk about all of it in the guide here today. Just before we get into it, over on YouTube and Twitch, we got a cool community on over there. You can join us at 8 a.m. EST most days of the week. Now, which one's the most efficient? What do we want to get into first to be able to get the highest item level we can? There's actually a different answer for both of those questions. First of all, the highest gear, the highest item level gear we can get is going to be Renown rewards. If you're doing Renown anyway, then you might as well go ahead and pick up these veteran pieces of gear as well. Yeah, each of the Renown vendors, if you head over and check them, they're going to have epic pieces of gear for you that are at the veteran scaling track. They also do have champion gear, but it's way up closer to the level 20 or the maximum Renown area, and it takes a lot longer to get to that. These veteran pieces, though, are low-hanging fruit that you can reasonably accomplish this before the season even begins, because we're not going to see the season start until closer to the 10th of September. That leaves plenty of time to go through those heroic dungeons. Outside of Renown, heroics are going to give you the highest item level pieces of gear. Now, something you're going to see immediately if you're just a fresh level 80 is that there is a minimum item level that you need to have to be able to get into heroics, and that is 551. So how can we get to that item level? First of all, you want to keep an eyeball out on your world quests. You unlocked these when you finish the campaign. If you didn't quite finish the campaign, then you probably don't have these just yet. Go ahead and finish that campaign first, and then you're going to be able to see world quests. And in the world quests, every once in a while, you're going to see a 570 piece. So check all those world quests everywhere in all the zones and make sure you're not missing any. While you're at it, make sure you're getting your restored coffer keys. These are going to come in world quests as well, and they're going to be tokens that you can then turn 100 of these shards into a restored coffer key, and you can take that on into the delve to get better items, but don't use those just yet. You will get 554 pieces from delves, and they have cool equip effects on them, by the way, and you don't really see those usually on, for example, boots, but I suggest that you head into follower dungeons or normal dungeons, but this is something I've noticed. Followers are pretty damn powerful, especially once you hit max. They're scaled up to be just doing a juicy amount of damage, and they out damaged me, for example, on a fresh level 80 every time I was in the dungeon. This also allows you to work out the mechanics at your own pace. Just so you know, you can go into normals as well, just queue up for them, but as a DPS, you're gonna have to wait in the queue anyway, and you get the same item level from follower dungeons as you do from regular dungeons. These Dark Moon Fair decks. And you're thinking, wow, are you kidding me? Buy a Dark Moon Fair deck? Those are so expensive. Right now in the auction house, they aren't that expensive. And seeing that they're actually a lot less than you'd expect, going for about 11,000 gold when I purchased it. I've heard other people mention that it's 4,000 on their server. You can totally transfer things from other servers through your warbank, so you might want to check the prices on some other auction houses. That trinket's coming in at a whopping 577 item level. It's going to be a nice boost to your current item level. Believe it or not, there are some treasures you can jump into. There's a couple of war-bound treasure items that you can find around the map as well. I'm going to link a add-on that you want to grab for that in the description. It's called Handy Notes. If you've been playing WoW for any amount of time, you're probably familiar with this. There, for example, there is a pendant in the north of Hollowfall that you can head on over there and pick up. This is a war-bound on equip item, meaning you can transfer it to any of your characters, even if it's not an item you can use on that particular character. Just send it to a different one. When you do equip it, though, it does become bound, soul bound to that character. For that pendant I'm talking about, I'll link the coordinates in the description. For all others and the other treasures you can find that do have good item levels for you, take a look at Handy Notes. Great thing about Handy Notes is that you're going to be able to see all of the treasures, hover over them each with your cursor, and you will see exactly how to get it, if there's any special requirements, and what you got to do to be able to loot that item. You can literally find this stuff laying on the ground out there in the world. Oh yeah, and you can find your profession items there too. Great add-on. Now, we talked about it a moment ago. Bountiful Delves, you would think would be better for you, but they're going to offer the same loot outside of there being an additional Bountiful Delve box. That Bountiful Delve box you don't want to open just yet if you are gear minded or progression minded. That's because you're going to want to save all of those delve keys for later when we have the additional tiers unlocked. Now, unfortunately, when the game did release, we still are locked to tiers 1 through 3 on the delves, and we're not able to go into the higher delves until the season actually begins. Now, if the season has begun, check the description below. I'm going to be making a guide on what to do with delves. Now, if you're also going to be a delve fanatic, I suggest you subscribe to the channel there because I'm going to be covering delves in depth and a couple handy add-ons and handy things to know about the delves. If the video did help you out today, please rogue strike that like button. If you want to stay tuned for more WoW content in the future, please bash the subscribe. I appreciate your time and I'll see you in the next one.